There have been tons of reactions in the last few weeks after Julianna Pena defeated the Lioness Amanda Nunes at UFC 269 for the UFC Bantamweight Championship. But one comment that didn't set well with Pena was Kayla Harrison's comment, which was more of a discredit towards her win. Kayla Harrison is a two-time Olympic gold medalist in judo and is a training partner to Amanda Nunes at the American Top Team gym, had this to say to TMZ Sports after Julianna's win. "Yeah, I was heartbroken obviously for my teammate and my friend. You know I have a lot of respect for Amanda. I helped train her. I've trained with her. She's helped me, we are teammates. I would consider her a friend, so first and foremost I was heartbroken for her. I still think that if they fought 10 times, 9 out of 10, Amanda starches her." Julianna Pena responded via an interview with MMA Junkie saying, "I think she's the lesser of the training partners for her and Amanda Nunes. If that's the case and I just took out Amanda, I don't know what kind of position that would put her in. But she's been fighting in the B leagues. I've been fighting in the UFC. I've been fighting at the top of the division. I'm fighting in the biggest league of this sport, so I'm not paying too much attention to what she's doing down there. Who is this Ronda Rousey wannabe? Kayla is not on my radar. I don't even think she can make 135 pounds, but if she wants to make the weight, pack your stuff and come on over here, honey." Now Kayla fights at 155 pounds. She's on a 12-0 record in her MMA career and just came off her second PFL lightweight championship. She's one of the biggest free agents in MMA right now, and those words from Julianna Pena made her very mad. The 31-year-old sent a stern warning to Pena during her interview with TMZ Sport. She said, and I quote, "I think that Julianna, congrats to her for her victory. I know she must be on cloud 9 right now, and I would just caution her to be careful. You don't say stuff like that to people like me unless you mean it. This isn't like a Conor McGregor, let's just talk a little No. Don't bite off more than you can chew. I think it's just dumb too, She fights at 135, I fight at, right now, 155. So unless you're willing to back it up, then don't say stuff like that. Don't open up that can of worms. Don't go there. Honestly, I'd probably have to chop off my arm to make 135. And I think that it would only take one arm to beat her." The back and forth between these two women is bringing lots of smoke into the world of MMA. If Kayla does get signed to the UFC, a matchup between Julianna Pena would be in high demand. But before that happens, a rematch between Nunes and Pena is one we definitely get to see in the coming weeks. Nunes is eager to avenge her first loss since 2014, and Pena is more than ready to step into the octagon against her one more time. Belal Muhammad has crafted for himself a special way to steal the spotlight and most likely get a title shot. After beating two-time title contender Stephen Thompson at UFC Vegas 45, he's decided to go after the Wolf, Khamzat Chimaev, who's been stealing the spotlight from everyone in the welterweight division. In an interview with MMA Fighting, Belal expressed why he wants Khamzat and what it means for him. He had this to say, "To me, ranking don't mean anything. It's about hype. It's about who the UFC wants to push. And who's that guy? Who's that McGregor now? Who's that next big star?" As we saw last year with Masvidal, where it's like you don't have to be number 2 to get the title shot. You don't have to be number 1 to get the title shot. It's about who's getting that push right now in that right moment. Right now, in that right moment, Khamzat, you get the most hype from beating a guy like him than anybody else, honestly. Do I know why he's got all this hype? He's got 4 wins? Do I think he's this Terminator because of those 4 wins? No. Do I think that he's this pay-per-view star because of those 4 wins? No. But the UFC does. If they think that, then I'm the one that's going to have to put a stop to it. Now you can't deny the brilliance in Belal's logic. Coupled with the fact that UFC president himself, Dana White, has called Chimaev one of the most avoided fighters in this division, making a win against Khamzat is huge. On the path of Belal, he would be risking his number 5 spot on the rankings, which he frankly worked hard to achieve, after defeating the Wonder Boy and Demian Maia in his past 2 fights. But he understands the value in stealing the spotlight away from a name like Chimaev, and he's confident he can tame the wolf. Mark Hunt's legal battle with the UFC took a dramatic turn against him after the United States District Court in Nevada asked Mark to pay $388,235 in attorney fees and costs to the UFC, following an unsuccessful ruling against him in March 2021. Mark has been in a legal war with the UFC since 2017, after he faced Brock Lesnar at UFC 200. Mark lost to Lesnar by unanimous decision, but that result was later overturned to a no contest by the Nevada Athletic Commission when it was revealed that Lesnar had tested positive to performance-enhancing drugs. Mark claimed the UFC was fully aware but still concealed the results, leading him to file a lawsuit for a number of allegations including fraud, breach of contract and racketeering. However, this legal battle has been on for over 4 years now, and most of Mark's allegations have been waived by the Nevada Judicial Court. Subsequently, it was stated in a motion filed by the UFC during Hunt's promotional agreement where the plaintiff is responsible for paying the legal fees of the prevailing party. In this case, it's the UFC, in the event of an unsuccessful lawsuit. And those legal fees have racked up to a total of $385,235. Receiving the news in shock, Mark replied via his Instagram to bjpen.com, who circulated the news. Bro, really? Christopher Taylor 2022, the start of a new year, and you saying I got to pay this? Come on bro, where did you get this info from? Did you just make it up or what? He followed up with another shocking post that was simply outrageous. He challenged Dana White and former UFC executives, the Fertitta brothers, to a fight with some very diplomatic conditions. He wrote, Mark the Samoan versus Dana the Parasite, White Lorenzo Fertitta and Frank Fertitta. 5 rounds MMA. These losers at Dana White, Frank Fertitta, Lorenzo Fertitta has sucked the life out of so many fighters and him and his scum friends. You win, I drop the lawsuit. I win, you pay every fighter you've ripped off since at UFC started. Now, who would pay to see that? Well, one thing you don't have to pay for is this. If you're a new subscriber to our channel, go comment I subbed in the comment section below and stand the chance to earn our very first monthly shout out for 2022. So go comment I sub now and earn yourself that shout out. Still on Dana White, Jake Paul had a lot to say about Dana after he knocked out former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley in his most recent bout. Jake accused Dana of having a cocaine issue and treating the fighters under the UFC badly. He also called out some A-list UFC stars like Kamaru, Masvidal and McGregor, stating he'd knock out any or either of them the F out. Dana responded by saying Jake Paul is only calling out the likes of Masvidal because he can't sell pay-per-views, which in Dana's defense is quite true. Jake Paul vs Tyron Woodley sold below 65,000 pay-per-views on Showtime, which in comparison to big fights is very, very low. Dana also issued a challenge to Jake Paul by saying he would allow Jake to cocaine test him for the next 10 years if Jake would get tested for steroids for the next 2 years. Jake replied by accepting Dana White's challenge and even said he would quit his boxing career forever to fight Masvidal in MMA. If Dana agreed to pay his fighters at least $50,000, increase healthcare for fighters and a lot of other stuff. Jake went further to say that if Dana White steroid tested him, he'd also want to steroid test all the fighters in the UFC, which he is sure Dana White wouldn't agree to. But here's what I found to be very funny. Khamzat Chimaev, who I'm sure was tired of an endless romp between these two, took to his Twitter and wrote, "At Dana White, let me smash this bullsh boy Jake Paul." For some reason, Jake didn't respond. Anyway, the frosty relationship between Dana White and Jake Paul is long from over, and we definitely know there's going to be some more juicy headlines down the road. In his post-fight interview with Ricky Simon, after his second round TKO win against Rafael Asuncao, Michael Bisbing, who was the interviewer, stated Asuncao was the first ranked opponent that Simon had defeated. Ricky calmly corrected Bisbing by stating that he'd defeated a ranked opponent before, Rani Yahya, who was ranked 15 at the time at UFC 234. However, Bisping refused to take the correction and tried playing it into a joke by saying Simon wasn't ranked at the time either. Bisping, who asked on a recent question and answer on his YouTube page about the conversation, and he went full rampage. In Bisping's words, he goes, "I've beaten ranked guys before." I said, "Well, you definitely weren't ranked," because he wasn't ranked. He was trying to make me look silly. I'm literally replaying the information that I was told to say. So how about you direct your venom at him and tell him not to be such a little shh? Bisping told the viewer who asked the question. When Ricky was asked about his thoughts in an interview with MMA Fighting, he had this to say. Maybe he didn't want to be corrected? I mean, is there a rule that I'm not allowed to correct him on air or something? I don't know if there is. Maybe I should have said something after, but this is my life. This is what I put everything into. Everything that I do is to wake up in the morning and get better at this specific sport. And I have the receipts. I fought a ranked guy before. I beat a ranked guy. I was ranked before. I just thought that I would clear that up. Simon has now won 4 straight fights and is quickly rising in the stacked bantamweight division. Since this is our first video of 2022, I'd like to wish you all a happy new year. But even as we're excited to get some UFC action in 2022, 2021 bid farewell to many of our favourite fighters. Some of those are the following: Al Iaquinta, Alistair Overeem, Betty Correia, Carlos Condit, Claudia Gadelha, Dan Hardy, Demian Maia, Diego Sanchez, Jimmy Rivera, Joseph Benavidez, Junior Dos Santos, Kevin Lee, Megan Anderson, Mike Perry, Paul Felder, and Tyrone Woodley. If you loved this video, then be sure to check out this other action-packed video showing on your screen right now. Bye for now.